Shakosh here with the Van City home team, and I'm going to turn my windshield wipers off so you don't hear them in the background. How's everybody doing? Beautiful and rainy Vancouver. Sitting in my car right now, actually. Oh, they're not off yet. Waiting for some clients who wanted to look at a home a little bit further away than they're usually looking. And so they tried to cancel on me, but I said, let's go for the overall experience. Let's include traffic, weather, and all of the other logistics that you would probably have to deal with on a daily basis anyway. So they took me up on my offer, and they are on their way. So I got here a little bit early, and I wanted to do a little live for you. And today we're going to talk about the 12 tips on buying a home in a new city. So this is kind of a new city for them, but it's not too far from their current city. So I can't see if anybody's on here at the moment, but hopefully there's some viewers because I'm doing this from my phone this time. So anyway, 12 tips on buying a home in a new city. So let's say you got a job transfer and you have to move to a new city and you're not really familiar with that city. There's a few things that you probably should do in advance to prepare for it. So let's talk about number one. Number one, and this you should probably do anyway, and this is the perfect time to start working on your budget if you don't already have a budget, but especially if you're moving to a new city, you kind of want to do a little bit of research and see, you know, what the cost of living is going to be, utilities, food, you know, those kind of things, and start calculating a budget based on that. If you're moving because of a job, sorry, I've got a little frog in my throat. If you're moving because of a job, maybe you're getting a pay increase or a pay decrease. So you want to really work on your finances. I use an app, which is a TD MySpend, because I bank with TD Bank. But there's lots, Mint, there's a couple of other apps. So, I mean, there's apps for everything in this world now. So you could probably find one that works for you so that you can put all of your information in there and determine a really good, solid budget for yourself. So number two, consider renting first. Hi, Sean. Thanks for joining. Consider renting. So a lot of people, you know, they're excited about moving to a new city, and the first thing they do is launch into looking for the real estate prices. So most people gravitate to the lower end of the real estate prices. That's not always a good thing, especially if you're not familiar with the city, because maybe you're going to choose an area that you don't want to actually live in. So great opportunity for you to go there, rent for 6 months, check out the city. Hi, Lloyd. I don't know if you're in Canada or Brazil, but thanks for joining. Nice to see you. So consider renting first. Go to the city, rent up space. I mean, a lot of people that are homeowners don't want to do that, but it's a really good thing to do if you're not familiar with the city. And then you can check out the different areas and see which one you want to actually live in. Number three, research the housing market. Check out what's happening, just because, you know, for example, Vancouver's market, Canada, awesome. Okay, Lloyd, well, I would say let's get together, but you're a little bit far from me. So check out the real estate market, do a little bit of research, go online. Everything's available online nowadays. So you can do some market research of your own, or ask a realtor that you know to help you determine what kind of increase or decrease or what's happening in the market in the city that you're moving to. Number four, visit the city first. Just because you look online, things look sometimes a lot better or worse than they may actually be. So go for a visit. I mean, a lot of people don't want to spare the expense of visiting the city because they're going to be moving there anyway. But it's worth just taking the trip, and probably the only opportunity that you'll have to take a trip where you're not going to be working and then just doing your regular routine. So just take a little mini vacation, go check out the area, go, you know, apply for some rentals, and just go check it out first if you can. Number five, transportation. So are you going to be buying a car? Are you driving to the destination? Are you going to have to take public transport? I mean, in Vancouver we have an amazing public transport system, but not everywhere else in Canada or in the US is the same. So check out what the transportation is like in the city. Then number six, You know, consider the commute of your new place. Are you gonna buy in a neighborhood that's, you know, away from where you're gonna be working? How long is it gonna take you to commute? Are you going to, how much are you gonna have to spend, you know, on gas prices if you're gonna be driving, or on public transportation? Number 7, hi Eves. I was actually thinking about you today when I passed by your place. Funny that you should join, so nice to see you. Crime. So let's talk about crime. We don't know the new city, so we want to investigate the crime. There's actually websites where you can go on and you can determine, you know, how many police calls have been in a certain neighborhood, you know, how many break-ins. Especially if you have a family and kids, you want to make sure that you check that out. Another thing to check out is the schools. If you have kids that are going to school, I mean, the school ratings are not that reliable. But you can definitely do your research by talking to other parents that have their kids in certain schools, and that way you can pinpoint the area that you want to be in based on the feedback. Okay, so next, number 8, interviewing a realtor. So it's really important to do that, and I know it's very hard if you're moving to a new city, because obviously you chat with people online and you don't know whether or not they're going to be a good fit for you or if they have your best interest. We as realtors actually do a lot of our work on referral basis. And so basically what that means is if you're moving to another city and you need us to research a good realtor for you that we can recommend, then we can do that. We do receive a referral fee for that, so it's really to our best interest and yours to make sure that we pick one that's going to match with you properly. Hi Allison, nice to see you. So interviewing a realtor, super important, especially if you're not from the area. You want to have somebody that you trust that's going to give you all of the straight up goods on everything, really. 9, employer. Is your employer going to pay for any of the moving costs? Generally, when you buy a house, there is no commission payable. You don't have to pay the realtor commission. It gets paid by the seller. But sometimes employers will cover your moving costs. You know, your furniture moving, your utility, your startup, you know, whatever cost. So check with your employer to see if they're willing to throw any of those costs in. Number 10, oh, well, I already said it, mover. Find a reputable mover. I mean, after all, you don't want to have the stress of moving to a new city and then having things either lost or broken. I know that movers tend to cost a lot of money if you're moving long distance, but it's worth it because they do have insurance and they're going to look after your things, properly wrap them, and then you know that at least your things are safe. Even if they're not super valuable items or, you know, very expensive furniture, it's just a peace of mind to know that you have something that's familiar to you when you get to where you're going that's unknown. Number 11, neighborhoods. So neighborhood listservs, you know, people in the neighborhood that do work. You're going to want that. Even if you're renting, you know, you want to know who the local plumber is, who, if there's an electrician in the area. You can probably get this, you know, on community group chats on Facebook. You can join some of those to get to know the neighborhood and just chat with them about who they use, you know, for services, because it's, you know, you don't want to get into your new house and then, you know, your hot water tank blows or something happens and you don't know who to call because you're in a brand new neighborhood. So that brings me to the final one, which is connect with people. So you can do this even in advance. I mean, the internet is so amazing now. We can go and go onto chat groups, like I said, on Facebook, talk to people, you know, in community events. You can join them online. There's meetup groups when you get there, so you can do things that you like to do, like, I don't know, jogging, walking, tennis, whatever, you know, skiing, whatever you like to do. There's usually a meetup group that you can meet some local people and kind of get to know them and the neighborhood. And so those are the 12 tips that I put together for buying a home in a new city. And so if you would like any information from me or a referral, if you do plan on moving out of the city, then I'm happy to research and find the best realtor for you if you are doing that. So hopefully you enjoyed this week's Van City Scoop, and I'll see you guys all next week. Enjoy the rain. Hopefully you're all cuddled up tonight, maybe watching a movie. I'm now gonna show this beautiful home to these clients, and hopefully the drive was worth it for them. So have a good night, everybody. Bye-bye.